are coming to you from the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where tonight Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Paul Konerko, Adam Dunn, Alex Rios, and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Prince Fielder, Victor Martinez, and the first place Detroit Tigers. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrelson as we get set to bring you Game 3 of this 4-game series. As you know, we lost the opener 7-3. We gave them 5 unearned runs. We lost last night 6-2. We gave them 3 unearned runs. That's 8 unearned runs in 2 games. And our defense has been subpar all season long, especially in the first 2 games of this set.
Yeah, that was one of the things that you didn't think about coming into this year, and that was the defense because it was so good last year, but not so this year. And unfortunately, 3 errors the first night, 4 the second night. And we'll see Ramirez here throwing the ball away in what should have been a relatively easy play. Didn't work out that way. Aviciedo having some problems on the carom off the wall. And so another run scores. But before the game, Robin met with the media, and he had this to say.
It's not like we didn't decide to work on it in spring training. I think it's just one of those you end up starting in a funk and never really get out of it. I think you go a stretch where it looks pretty good, but I think, again, you just scratch your head and look at it because you know that these guys are capable of doing better.
Are there team defensive slumps like team hitting slumps?
I think there can be. I think the next guy doesn't want to be the guy to screw it up, and you just puts more pressure on the guy when one guy makes an error, and then if it's a kind of an in between, maybe a little bit of a tougher play, and a guy doesn't make it, it just naturally happens. It puts more pressure on everybody else.
Well, it certainly does, and everything in baseball is contagious, including defense. But the Sox tonight have got a right-hander out there who they roughed up pretty good on July 11th.
Anibal Sanchez is a very good pitcher. His ERA for the year is below 3. But last time they went head-to-head with him, it didn't go very well for Sanchez. He gave up 5 runs, 4 of them earned. Alexei doubles into the left field corner. And then Josh Phegley, for the first and only grand slam of his career, 4 earned runs against Sanchez. He didn't have his good stuff, and our boys made him pay. But Johnny Dank's going to the mound, and John at home has been terrific. 2-2 with an ERA just over 3. Career-wise, he's really struggled with the Tigers. And hopefully John will have his good change-up tonight. Once again, Miguel Cabrera not in the lineup, and that's a plus for us.
And it's Greek Heritage Night here at US Cellular Field, so sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
In part by your Chicago area is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. And by Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com.
Welcome back to U.S. Cellular Field on Greek Heritage Night. And there is the roasting of the lamb. We had some sent up to the booth, and it was delicious. So let's take a look at how Jim Leland is going to line up his Tigers tonight. Austin Jackson leading it off, and it's going to be Hunter, Tuiasosopo, and Fielder at the top with Martinez, Peralta, and Kelly in the middle. Perez and Avila rounded out. The defense, and now they're going to line up behind Johnny Danks, Viciedo, and Diaza, and Rios left to right with Gillespie, Ramirez, Keppinger, and Adam Dunn in the infield. Josh Pegley with the nod behind the plate. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Johnny Danks, looking for win number 3, and this is 12th start of the year. Only 70 hits in just about 70 innings, with just 8 walks. The umpires for the game tonight: Gary Darling, the crew chief behind the plate, Jerry Meals at first, Bruce Dreckman is at second, and Chris Conroy is at third. So they've thrown the ball around the infield. That means we're ready to play baseball. I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
Hi, Stevie. Thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here over Comcast Sportsnet. So happy you could join us for Game 3 of this 4-game set. One more remaining with these guys tomorrow, then Kansas City for 3, then it's off on the road again. But right here, Johnny Danks to face Austin Jackson. Jackson hitting at 275 homers. He's driven in 24. First pitch of the ball game, a little high, a little wide. Jackson 2 for 10 in the series with an RBI. And there's softly hit just over the head of Alexei. And last night in the very first inning, we had an unusual play. We got the game off on a bad note for us. Here, Torrey Hunter is going to get in this rundown. Now, watch Gary Darling. Gary Darling from this angle. He's going to call him out. And then he calls interference. And he told Robin he didn't call him out. But Gary's a good umpire. That's just one he blew. But as I said, it just set the game off on the wrong turn right off the bat.
Well, especially with a good throw by Fegley.
All right, boys. Back. Oh, he calls him safe.
It's Jerry Meals at first. Torrey Hunter hustling. It was going to be very close. And if a tie goes to the runner, that's just about as close to a tie as you can possibly get.
So, Hunter, who is just 2 for 3 in stolen bases, they don't run a whole bunch here. 29 out of 43.
Well, normally with their lineup, with Miguel Cabrera in it, you're not going to run yourself out innings when you got that kind of thunder in the middle of this lineup.
No, sir, you're not. Not unless you got some exceptional speedsters up there who know how to steal bases, and their percentage is way, way above 700.
And they don't have that.
No.
There was a time when Torrey Hunter could possibly do that, and Austin Jackson is not the most aggressive guy around, and Jim Leland just prefers to hit the ball out of the ballpark, hit some doubles, drive in some runs, and do it that way as opposed to manufacturing runs.
Tuiasosopo. Close pitch, didn't get it. Tigers come in hitting at 280 as a club with a 3.80 team ERA. Tigers 26 and 25 on the road. Could not check it up. So the count 2-1 in here at the ballpark. 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straightaway center.
Close pitch, didn't get it. He surprised him with the fastball. Our Menards pitch tracks will show you that it was just in off the plate. Tuiasosopo most likely looking for a changeup. Had it been a strike, probably wouldn't have been called third.
So 1 out and a full count. He does not go. And there's ball 4. So right off the bat, couple of men on, 1 out. And here's Prince Fielder. Prince at 267, 16 homers, 71 knocked in. 1 for 7 in the series with an RBI.
Prince does a nice job against the left-handers because he doesn't open up too soon. Now you can get him swinging at curveballs occasionally in the dirt. The fastball change, he'll try to take it right back up the middle against the lefties especially. So you can see he hits lefties better than righties. And the home run disparity because he faces many more right-handers than left-handers.
Well, they're not a bunch, but there are more than a few left-handed hitters who would rather face left-handed pitching, as there are a whole bunch of right-handed hitters that would rather face right-handers.
I'd say most of them. Most of the right-handers feel much more comfortable because they face, what, 75-80% right-handed starters?
The vast majority of right-handed hitters that rather face right-handed pitching. Outfield straight up. And there's ball 1. Fielder against Danks, has faced him 3 times, has 3 hits. That ball hit deep. And it's 3-0.
"17 home runs, 74 driven in for the big man who undoubtedly knows he's really got to pick it up in the absence of Miguel Cabrera. And after missing with the first pitch, Johnny Danks, who gave up a couple of home runs last start, gives up one early in this one. The fastball is down. It's the Ford home run replay. It's crushed into right center field.
So here's Martinez. He is 7 for 31 lifetime against Johnny with 3 homers. Well, he's not going to get anything low from Darling, and he's not going to get anything on the corner from Darling, so it means he's got a real small strike zone right now. One and one to count.
Well, the big problem here was the walk to Tuiasosopo. If you got him to hit the ball on the ground, you might be able to have gotten out of the inning. He walked him and then paid the price with the big man.
Well, the double play should have been turned. That was a double play ball.
No doubt. But knowing it was a chopper, you have to hurry it up, put a little something extra in that underhand toss.
That's exactly right.
Because Torrey Hunter doesn't have the great speed anymore.
But he's going to give you his great efforts.
He does that.
That ball lined into right field. Martinez is just barreling everything up.
Well, this 3-game series when our pitching staff has retired him. Except for one time, they've retired him on line drives. Everything has been hit as hard as you can hit it. If he lines it at somebody, you get him out. Other than that, it finds a place to land.
That'll bring up Peralta, hitting at .303, 9 homers, 48 knocked in. And this is the 6th meeting of the year between these two clubs. In the first 5, Tigers have won 3 of them. Peralta 9 for 42 with a homer against Johnny. Way out in front.
Long ball has been the problem with John this year. 15 of them in 70 innings of work. That's a very high total.
Yeah, besides this, it's just not the errors. We've made 68 of them this year. We only made 70 all last season. It's the plays that have not been made that have hurt just as much as that's going to fall. So there is a bloop. Duck snort, double. For Peralta, that's his 27th.
There's no doubt this one is going to fall. But then Alex has the ball, just take an abrupt right turn, get by him, and Peralta in scoring position.
Kelly, rope hooks that one. 7th man to come to the plate. He comes in hitting at .241, 4 homers and 14 knocked in. Johnny's had some problems with the Tigers. 4-7 lifetime with a 5.36 ERA. That's a souvenir.
Threw a good straight change to him, and throwing the straight change lefty on lefty is usually a pretty good thing. There's a lot of pitchers who abandon that when they face a left-hand hitter.
Two out in the 2-2. That's in the center field, and that'll do it. But close play at first base. Double play that was not turned that should have been. A 3-run homer, and we trail it 3-0.
Piazza, Ramirez, and Rios at the top, with Dunn, Konerko, and Keppinger in the middle. Then Gillespie, Viciedo, and Fegley rounded out. The defense, and how they're going to line up behind Anibal Sanchez. Tuiasosopo, Jackson, and Hunter in the outfield, with Kelly, Peralta, Perez, and Fielder in the infield. Alex Avila gets a nod behind the plate. And our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Anibal Sanchez. He's 7-7 with a fine ERA of 2.85. This is his 17th start. 32 walks, 114 strikeouts, and right-handers don't hit him very well.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours.
He's got two types of fastballs. One will run away from the left-hand hitter. He's got a very good straight change, and his slider is the best of his breaking pitches. He has a slider and a curve. Uses a slider a lot more.
One and one to count. Checks it up. Sox at 2.48 as a club with a 3.97 ERA. Sox 21-24 here at home. Softly hit into center field, and that's going to fall for a base hit. So a good way to start.
Sounded like he broke the bat on his fastball. And Jackson thought at first he could make the play. Then he's able to keep the ball in front of him.
So here's Ramirez at 281, a homer he's driven in 23. He's faced Sanchez 3 times, has 1 hit. There he goes, right off the bat, and he's going to be safe. And the ball into center field. So he picks up his 12th stolen base, and Avila picks up his 4th error.
Alex Avila has no chance whatsoever because Sanchez uses a high leg kick, a slow delivery, and he throws this one well wide of the bag. Perez does not do a particularly good job of making sure this ball does not go into center field. And that stolen base will be available all night against this combination.
Flips that one foul. Yeah, he had no chance. That's more of a mental mistake right there than it is physical.
Especially knowing that you are a little slower to home plate and you have a base stealer on.
One out. And that'll bring up Rios. Alex at 278, 12 homers, 48 knocked in.
Infield is back. They're going to concede the run if Alex at the very least can hit a ground ball.
What a way. Well, I've seen Sanchez pitch a few times on TV. He can really work the ball. Probably outside of Bartolo Colon for a right-hander, he can work it just about as well as anybody in this league.
He's got great stuff, especially with a right-hand hitter. When he uses a two-seam fastball, it bears right in on their hands. They have a hard time getting ahead of the bat out. Then that hard, sharp-breaking slider, if you try to pull it, you're going to ground it to the left side. Those are the career numbers.
Good rip. Meanwhile, 1-2 to count.
He was with the Florida and then the Miami Marlins, the same team. He came over in a midseason trade last year. Went 4-6 for Detroit in 12 starts. And then they re-signed him as a free agent and gave him a great deal of money.
2 down. And right now, let's check out our Farmers Insurance picks to click tonight. And Joe, our director and the crew, Josh. Steve's going with Rios. And Mark Zucker, Sean Barsick of the Levy Restaurants at USA LaField. Now we're going to go with Canerco. Strike 1 to Adam. So once again, it's up to Adam to knock him in. Man in third, nobody out. And the count 0-2.
That slider, when kept there, is pretty close to unhittable.
Yeah,
because you can't lay off it. It looks like a fastball. At the last instant, it dives down and in. That's as good a slider to a left-hander as you'll see. And he has that pitch that you dislike, that good straight change. He's got one of those.
That terrific movement on it.
Yep.
Two and two. Well, I faced a guy who was considered to be the hardest thrower in the history of the game.
Steve Delkowski.
Faced him a lot of times. And even though he threw, they didn't have guns in those days, but they tried to clock him one time with a gun and it wouldn't register.
Well, people talked about 108, 109.
110.
Yeah.
Yeah. With great movement. So once again, we get a man at third, nobody out, and he's left right there.
Later in the game. It's brought to you by Miller Lite.
Hernan Perez will lead it off here in the top of the second inning. 3-run homer by Prince Fielder. It's 3-0 Detroit. Takes ball one. He is 2 for 6 in the series. Both those hits coming last night. 2 RBIs. Both those RBIs coming last night. Just 22 years old. Little soft pop up. And Sox fans, now is the chance to tell us what you think and win an autographed White Sox jersey. In the process, simply visit whitesox.com/survey during today's game and provide us with your feedback. In doing so, you'll be entered for the chance to win an autographed Gordon Beckham jersey. So, whitesox.com/survey. Here's Alex Avila. Hitting at 184, 6 homers, 23 knocked in. Lifetime against Dank, so 6 for 14 with 5 RBIs.
Been a tough year for Avila in every aspect of the game.
Ouch.
And
he cannot stay away from getting beat up.
It's going to get tougher.
I'm telling you what, I'm not laughing at him. I'm laughing with him. It's amazing how beat up he gets against us. Behind the plate at bat.
Well, as you can see, I mean, this catches him square. He's not wearing a shin protector. It hits him off the shin. And there is very little protection right there. He's probably wondering what he did to deserve what's happened to him this year. Because he has been beaten up, there's no doubt. Been a difficult offensive year. He was disabled once. He got hit on the forearm, but against Johnny Danks, over the course of his career, even though it's a brief sample, he's been very tough.
0-2 the count. Outfield around to the left. A lot of times we see that a guy who is a pretty good hitter, which he is, he's a pretty good hitter. He's proven that. They're going through a tough time and they start changing their swing, trying to adjust their swing. And a Hall of Fame shortstop talked to me about that one time. He said, you don't change your swing, you change your positioning in the batter's box.
In 2011, he hit .295, so he was doing everything right. You remember that year? He just
approach. He killed us to left center. Yeah. There you go. You try to create your own strike zone by moving around that box when you're struggling, or against certain pitchers. You can create your own zone by moving around in that box. If you got a good sinker ball pitcher there, you got two places you can go. You can go way up in front of the box, or you can go all the way back in the box. Get foul. Get foul.
It won't.
It won't. It's 4-0. Austin Jackson.
Last time out, Johnny gave up 5 earned runs. All came via the home run. He's given up 4 earned runs in this one, all via the home run. Our Ford home run replay looked like a changeup. And unfortunately, instead of away, which is where Fegley wanted it, he got it in. This one hugged the line and went out of the park.
First pitch strike. Got a break on that one. Torrey Hunter, who hit into a 6-4 fielder's choice.
I think what you were talking about as far as moving up and back or
in and out.
Forward and back, in and out. I think older players will do that. Some of them will adjust, but the younger players that get one stance, they will stay one stance against every type of pitcher in baseball.
You're right on the money, Steve. The younger guys will not move.
And I think pitchers fall into that habit too. Now, some will adjust on the mound depending on what kind of stuff they have on a given day or where they're missing. They'll make an adjustment, but most of the young pitchers pick one spot and stay there. Same with young hitters.
Where you stand in that box will determine your mechanics.
Well, if you're going to stand far away from the plate, you're going to have to dive into the ball.
Exactly
Otherwise, you
right.
can't touch the outside corner. I mean, that's easy.
Right.
So you're inviting the ball away if you stand far away. On top of the plate, you would just as soon the guy try to throw it by you inside, I assume.
Exactly. You're trying to force him to throw you fastballs inside. That has popped up, but the solo shot by Jackson, and it's 4-0 Bad Guys.
Blackhawks convention. It's live on Comcast Sportsnet. See the Hawks' biggest stars hoist the cup for Chicago as the team reunites in front of their biggest fans. We'll have all the action live Friday night at 5 on Comcast Sportsnet and streaming live on csnchicago.com. Lots of Hawk fans in attendance, as you would imagine. But they'd like to see a little offense. Or, if you're a Hawk fan, some offense.
And here is Paulie. Paulie last night, 1 for 3, 2-run double. What a season they gave us. Wow. From opening game to the last game of the season. That's into right field. And that's out number 1. And fans you've known for years, the StubHub is a great place to find the seats that you want to see the Sox play live. So now they've added StubHub fan rewards, so you can earn a little extra with your tickets like seat upgrades. So head to StubHub and get your White Sox tickets today. Here's Keppinger. Hitting at .240, couple of homers, 28 knocked in. He's 0 for 7 in the series. To another count. Reno.
And Gary Darling now walking out to the mound.
I want some groundskeeping.
Yeah, apparently the clay in front of the mound where Sanchez lands is pulling up, and he would like to get it a little a little firmer in that area. Earlier today, Cleveland defeated Seattle 10-1, but the big story in Seattle is that Eric Wedge, their fine manager, suffered what was described as a very mild stroke. And Jack Sarincic, the general manager, said that he's been released from the hospital and that he's not going to miss a great deal of time. So we certainly want to pass along our best wishes, both Hawk and I. Certainly respect Eric Wedge, the job that he's done in difficult circumstances in Seattle, and we hope that he does get back pretty quick. Supposedly he's going to miss one road trip and then come back and pilot his team again, so we'll look forward to that.
He's a good man.
There is Bob Love, former Bulls great.
And a 3-0 pitch. Yeah, Bob was fun to watch. Norm Van Leer, Jerry Sloan. Arguably the two toughest guards to ever play in the NBA.
No, he didn't want to bring the ball up against that guard duo.
No. Bobby, a 3-time All-Star.
He was a great shooter.
Had that soft touch.
And those other two guys you mentioned, they would just flat out beat you up.
Yeah, they would.
It was as simple as that. It was a different time in the NBA.
Yeah.
And you had a hard time getting by him.
They got a man there fighting the lights. 2 down. Going tomorrow afternoon. Finale of the set. 1:10 start. The Jake Meister. Jake Peavy against Justin Verlander. So here's Gillespie, 3 for 7 with a homer in this series as he takes strike one right there. Comes in at 253, 8 homers and 24 knocked in. That's the first time I've ever seen the mound repaired in that area during a ball game.
Well, it's not the landing foot, it's his right foot that comes through, and yeah, he falls off the mound to the first base side, and he was losing his balance.
Hit hard down past Joe McEwing. Takes it up, fouls it off.
Take a look at his right foot after he delivers the ball. You see the plant foot, the left foot, he's okay there, but the right foot whips around, and that's exactly the area where the ground was giving way. That's why he wanted it firmed up, and he got it that way.
Full count with 2 out. Viciedo on deck. 4 runs on 4 hits, 1 error for them. No runs on 1 hit, no errors for us. Got him. Good movement, and he leads it 4-0. Fielder and Martinez. Drops the hook on him. He walked. Turned out to be a big walk back in the first inning. And that ball hit deep into right center field. But we got a man there. So, 1 out. And earlier today, Jesse Crane and Dylan Axelrod, along with former players Bill Melton and Carlos May, visited the Jesse Brown VA Medical Center on the near south side. They dropped off White Sox gift bags, shared personal stories, and talked baseball with the vets. The community visit was part of this year's White Sox Charities Week and the third of 4 outreach events. So to learn more about White Sox Charities and how to get involved, visit whitesoxcharities.org. Breaking ball high, and Prince is 1 for 1. If you're just tuning in. Two for 8 in the series. And here's what this one hit did.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed action replay. And he went down and got it. Took it way out of the ballpark.
Got in on him right there. Threw it right underneath his hands. Ate him up.
Fegley wanted this ball away, and Johnny got it inside. Wound up throwing it in a perfect spot. Because try as he might, couldn't get the hands in enough and popped it straight up.
That's a perfect place to throw him, as that's a perfect place to throw Miguel Cabrera. Now, that does not mean he's not going to make an adjustment on him. But if you got to pitch to him, you're better off throwing it underneath their hands than anywhere else.
And with this guy, you just have to hope that the line drive goes at somebody. Because Victor, about as hot as you can get.
Nice. 5 for 10 in this series. see. With 8 line drives.
Really been amazing.
Yeah.
As solid a contact as he's made. Over the last 21 games, as you can see, he has really started to heat it up. And if you can believe it, in just a series against us this year, he's been even better than those numbers would indicate.
There's a strike. Well, one of the most outstanding series that I ever witnessed was in Kansas City when I was with Athletics. You know, we were playing Baltimore and Boog Powell. Boog was hot. We played him a 3-game series. If I'm not mistaken, he went to the plate 14 times in the 3 games. I believe he was 10 or 11 for 14 with 13 line drives. Every time he swung the bat, it was a bullet.
He was a big man.
And none of them went
Big
out of the
man.
ballpark. Just bullets all over the ballpark. And another line shot.
Just hope that it's at somebody, and it was.
Hang with them, Victor. 1, 2, 3 inning. They lead at 4-0. Twitter using hashtag White Sox Talk, and we'll read one back later in the game, and it just might be yours. First pitch strike. The Tank hitting at 237, 8 homers, 30 knocked in. Two and one to count. Tank 1 for 6 in the series with a homer. Two and two.
The key with Sanchez is with a lot of very good pitchers is the late movement. He's got movement on everything, and it's late, so you go to square it up, and it's just not there when you swing through it. He'll hit the bottom of the ball, the top of the ball consistently.
Well, you never hear about somebody having early movement. And you very seldom hear about guys having late movement, but the ones that do, as you say, they are double tough.
They're very difficult to deal with, and Josh Fegley figured him out for a grand slam in Detroit.
And a base hit right back through the middle for Tank.
The one and only grand slam in the very young career of Josh Fegley.
All right, Josh, 1st and 30, buddy. Got a good start here. Josh 1 for 6 in the series. Not going to do anything with that one.
A good hard slider. That one low and away out of the zone. Josh will hit line drives to right and right center field, but his big power is to left and left center field.
That one at the bottom of the zone. Danks has been there a few times, didn't get it. That ball hit hard. Stay up in the air. Nope. Got in on him just enough towards. Close.
And this is that late movement. That ball at the very end just moves off the sweet spot. Got a good swing at it, but didn't get it on the good part of the bat. Turns out to be a line drive to Tuiasa Sopo.
No, got it in on him just enough so he had to catch it off the end of the bat. And that's out of play. Diaza had a little soft single, then picked up a stolen base back in the 1st inning. After he stole second, Avelo's throw went into center field. He went to 3rd, so he had a man on 3rd, nobody out, and he just left him right there.
Josh Fegley has good power, but his power right now is to left and left center field. Is there any way to teach power the opposite way, or will that come with more at bats?
I'll tell you what, Stevie, right now I wouldn't touch him.
Just leave him where he is?
That's right. You know, that's one thing the White Sox have really changed, and I love it. Because most organizations, they'll go out and they'll sign a kid. Obviously, he's having some good success, or you wouldn't have signed him.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, he comes into pro ball, hitting coaches get around him, watch him for a couple of days, and say, okay, here's what I want you to do, Steve. Here's what I want you to do, Hawk. They start to fine-tune him and tweak him a little bit. First thing you know, they put him right in between. White Sox have adopted a policy now, as he gets him 2 down, that they sign him, they bring him in, they let him play. They don't talk to him. They just watch him until they start to fail. And then they'll go over and talk to him a little bit.
But if they don't fail,
they
then
just let them go.
Stay the same.
Just let them go.
So essentially, Josh, at this point, would be the same guy that he was when they signed him out of Indiana.
Well, maybe. You know, he's gone through some tough times down there. He had that physical problem.
Yep.
And I'm sure that they tried to tweak him and fine-tune him a little bit. But he's always been very aggressive. as Alexei can't get it. But I love that. I love that policy. A long time ago when Mike Cameron first came up, he joined us in Toronto. Coming out of Birmingham, he had like 26 home runs, 90 RBIs or something. And the first day he joined us in Toronto, he took about 10 swings. And he just ate him up right there. And when he came after his second round, they started talking to him. But that'll do it. We're into the fourth, trailing 4-0.
Cool Ranch Doritos, Locos Tacos from Taco Bell, Live Mas.
Johnny Peralta had a little duck snort double right down. That's not a duck snort. That's hit pretty well, but we got a man there. So 1 pitch, 1 out. And you can bring your family to the ballpark for our all-new Family Sundays presented by the University of Chicago Medicine Comer Children's Hospital. Tickets start as low as $5 and parking is just $10. On June 28th, former White Sox slugger Greg Luzinski, the Bull, will be on the concourse from 11:30 to 12, signing autographs for all fans. White Sox and Comer Children's Hospital teaming up to promote a healthy lifestyle and combat childhood obesity. As Kelly fakes the bunt, takes a strike. So purchase your tickets, whitesox.com or 866-SOX-GAME.
Kelly, a pretty handy man to have around, playing third base in the place of Miguel Cabrera. He can play anywhere on the field and give you a pretty good defensive effort. Nice play by Rafael Belliard. A lot of people don't remember that it was John Sherholtz, when he was building his Atlanta 14 in a row division titles. Rafael Belliard was an integral part of that. Everybody remembers the MVP that was Terry Pendleton, they acquired to play third. But it was Sid Bream at first and Rafael Belliard at shortstop. And the reason why John went out to get them was he had a lot of young pitchers who were just learning how to pitch and ready to go, and he wanted a defense that could make it hold up and give them 3 outs in an inning. We've seen what happens this year when you give more than 3 outs in an inning, and John knew that if that defense made no mistakes, his pitching would be that much better, and it led to 14 straight division titles. Belliard, a big part of it.
Softly hit. Well, we can just look at our own ball club and draw an analogy to that. Last year, we had at one time 10 rookie pitchers on our staff. And all 10 of them pitched in one game, which that's the only time that's ever happened in Major League Baseball history. We won that ball game in Kansas City.
Yep. But
we were in a pennant
outs.
race.
Yeah.
Okay? Our defense was catching everything. We only made 70 errors all year. We only give up 30 unearned runs all year.
That's a magnificent total. 30 unearned runs.
And these guys got used to seeing that. But they got the experience in a pennant race. And it has boded well for them this year because of the fact our pitching has been terrific.
And pitching overall has not been a problem. But catching the baseball and getting the pitch counts up has been a problem.
And the moral of that story is if our guys, as the ball gets away, so that'll be another error. Should be a hit and an error.
I would think with the speed of Perez, he was going to beat that play anyway. Then the question will be, who is charged with the error? It's single, E6. Let's watch that throw again. It's going to go E6, but that ball looks like it hit the ground behind Adams' glove.
So here is Avila, struck out, called out his first trip. But the moral of that story is that even though our guys last year got that great experience and they had a great defense behind them, they would not have had the kind of success they're having this season if they had had that bad defense last year.
Well, that's true. They got a lot of confidence.
Exactly right. And we talked about that in spring training about how much confidence these guys were going to have by going through a pennant race and having good success in it.
Well, Johnny Dang's coming back from arm surgery, so take him out of the equation. But look at the step forward of Quintana. Santiago. I mean, consistently better, around the plate more, not afraid to throw strikes normally.
Addison Reed and the guys in the bullpen.
Addison Reed, the bullpen has been terrific most of the year.
And that'll retire the side. Nothing across. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth, trailing by 4. Stats, tweets with Sox in game live only at csnchicago.com. Brought to you by Comcast Business Class. A lot of Tiger fans in attendance, as always, when they come over here. Just a little trip around the lake.
And they've got an entertaining team to watch. A lot of the Tiger fans still wondering about Miguel Cabrera and when he will return to the lineup, but No word yet as to when that will be.
Well, when you got Miguel Cabrera and Prince Fielder on your team, that's worth the price of admission.
There is no doubt, and the man behind him is the hottest of all of them, Victor Martinez.
Yes, he is.
So with this lineup, as you look at possible back-to-back Triple Crown winner, certainly a very distinct possibility of back-to-back MVPs. They're going to let him get good and healthy.
And, well, forget about the 5 starters.
Well, they've got to make some sort of a deal, and I think Dave Dombrowski knows that better than anybody because they've got to shore up their bullpen. If they believe they're going to make it to the playoffs, then they're going to have it to get through the playoffs.
You know, status quo right now, if they do, it's going to be a lot easier for them to get to the playoffs than get through.
Well, you take a look at the starters' ERA, first in the league, and the bullpen ERA very close to the bottom.
Full count to Alex. Alex struck out his first trip.
That's another changeup, and it's a good one. That changeup tonight has been the best weapon for Sanchez. There's one to Dunn. There's one moving the other way to Gillespie. There's one moving straight down to Diaza. And there's one backing up into him on the outside corner to Rios. Wow.
I watched him about 3 or 4 innings. Must have been a couple of weeks ago. I forget who it was against, but that changeup he had was one of the movingest I've seen since we saw Strasburg's a couple of years ago in Washington. 2 down. He can almost tell you that one. That's how good it is. He can almost tell you it's coming, and you still. And again, you don't get that very often. I've mentioned the fact that Johan Santana, when he was with Minnesota, had a great changeup.
Right.
We knew every time he was going to throw it. He tipped it.
Didn't matter.
We couldn't beat him.
Well, Sanchez has the ability to make it move a couple of different ways, and that's what makes him real tough. There are some that seems to go straight down. There are others that move into the right-hander away from the lefties, and others that act almost like a changeup little slider.
The guy's still trying to get tells, as the poker players like to describe it, to pick up pitches off guys. They still try to do that, and they can do it a lot easier today because of all the video that's available to them.
What always amazes me is the guys that don't want to know what's coming.
That, you know, to me, that's almost stupidity.
But there are a lot of people that they don't want to know.
A ton of them. Good rip by Paulie.
Easiest thing to do, and you don't have to tell the pitch. But if you're at second base, you can give location just from the catcher setting up early. And if it's a right-hand pitcher with a right-hand hitter, if the guy at second base can tell you that the catcher's setting up inside, 98% of the time it's a fastball. Doesn't have to tell
almost
you the pitch.
100%.
Yeah. So why wouldn't you want to know?
Outside. Well, you can get that. I used to get that from the on-deck hitter when the catcher moved inside. Now, if he moved late, I still got it, but you had to think a little quicker, so to speak. The guys who moved early got it every time. And there's ball 4. So the 2-out walk. First walk issued by Sanchez. And managers a lot of times in that time zone, not today, but in that time zone, you being a starter, you're going to sit on that bench. And you know how pitchers have a tendency during a ball game, starters get together who are not pitching, and they like to talk about the golf game yesterday or whatever.
Talk about anything, right.
That pass the time. Well, he would give you a chore. He would say, Steve, I want you to watch Sanchez tonight, and I want you to try to pick up Patel on his changeup. Hawk, if I wasn't playing that night, Hawk, I want you to try to pick up Patel on his breaking ball or his fastball, or either one. So everybody would have something to do to keep them in the game. And oddly enough, a lot of times, you got a lot of information out of that.
Each pitcher will give you something. I mean, they can't hide it. You talked about all the video there is today with every angle you could possibly imagine, and pitchers do give away pitches.
Got a piece of Avila again.
And Gary Darling's going to come out, take his time to let Alex, who right now is still bemoaning his fate, wondering why in the world his parents ever allowed him to catch. Because he just got hit in a place that doesn't have any padding.
Ball hit sharply by Peralta.
That should have easily been an out. But seemingly Peralta misjudged it. I think that actually was a bit of a knuckleball. Keppinger hit it on the button. A one-hopper, and Peralta's there. He just has the ball go under his glove.
So it's a base hit, and that'll bring up Gillespie, who struck out. Well, I'll give you an example of what we're talking about. When Louis Tiant, and prior to that, but in 1968, he was 21-9, 9 shutouts, had a 1.60 ERA, which still stands as the American League standard. I was having a lot of trouble with him. And a teammate of mine comes up to me and he says, Hawk, he explained to me what he was doing. He gave me the tell. Not from the stretch, from the windup. And as it turns out, I had 8 hits off Louis Tiant. 7 of them were home runs. Because from the windup, he had put his hands at his belt and he'd just go straight up on his fastball. On his curveball, he wanted to give you a little more motion, so he'd go below his belt, drop him down, and that was his curveball.
That sure helps.
I guess. You have 8 hits off a guy and 7 of them home runs.
That helps.
That you got to be reading his mail.
I had a member of the opposing team came to me and told me that I was tipping my pitches. And, you know, you wonder, because it's an opposing player, if he's telling you the truth or just trying to get into your head.
Right.
So I was facing Tony Perez, and I did what this guy told me, and he took a fastball right down the middle for strike 3. I threw a different pitch, doing the same thing that he told me I was tipping the curveball.
Right. Yeah.
And he was right.
Yeah.
But you very rarely will see an opponent tell you that.
Well, he was crazy. If he was, unless he was another pitcher and a good friend of yours.
No, he wasn't.
Well, he was crazy. 2 on, 2 out, 2-2 the count. Fielder makes a nice play, and that'll retire the side. We threaten, can't score. We're into the 5th, trailing by 4. City at 6:10. All fans are invited to stay for a post-game fireworks show presented by Magellan Corporation. All the great folks at Magellan Corporation. Purchase tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or 866 Sox Game. Austin Jackson, soft single just over the glove of Alexei Ramirez and a home run right down the left field line. Has 6 homers, 25 knocked in. Out in front of that curveball. If you're just tuning in, they scored 3 in the first. Big, long 3-run homer by Prince Fielder. And then the home run by Jackson in the second. Ate him up right there.
Keppinger does a good job of getting to it, knowing that Jackson can really run. Fortunately, he gets turned around in the batter's box, and when a hitter does this, you see him get turned around, he loses at least a step and a half. Otherwise, you just don't get him at first.
Yeah, he lost at least a step and a half right there. Torrey has hit into a 6-4 fielder's choice and popped up the second. That's high and deep into left field. Tank back at the wall. And it's 5-0.
Johnny tried to get one inside. And Hunter, who will occasionally look in there, opened up pretty quickly. And it is 9th home run, his 47th driven in. All 5 runs courtesy of the long ball. That's 10 runs the last 2 games, all on home runs. Our Ford home run replay. You see him open up. He got the good part of the bat on it.
He used his alligator arms right there. Short arms.
Yep.
If you can hit with short arms, you can take that pitch. We've talked about it many times before. One of the best inside fastball hitters in the last 30 years was Ryan Sandberg.
Terrific, and took it down the line, and it never hooked.
Yeah. You got those short arms in there. And, of course, the best example of that, the most graphic, were a couple of guys. Mike Schmidt and the Hawk.
And you?
No.
Andre Dawson.
Yeah, Andre Dawson.
How about Gary Sheffield?
Oh, he was one of the greatest fastball, and not just the last 30 years. He's one of the greatest fastball hitters to ever play the game of baseball. He had one of the all-time great top hands, as did the Hawk, Dawson. Andre Dawson is the only guy that I have seen in my 54 years in this game that could Tommy Hawk a knee-high fastball. Now, you name me another one.
Swing that much down on the ball? No. Nope.
Has he gone? 2 down. Tuiasosopo now 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Yeah, Andre Dawson, to this day, in my opinion, to the general baseball public, is still well underneath the radar. What a great player he was. Prince at 3-run homer, and then he got in on him just underneath his hands and popped him up to third.
Well, Andre, before his knees went, and his knees went because of that artificial surface in Montreal, which was like almost running on a tabletop. Before his knees went, there wasn't anything he couldn't do.
You know, I never played on that field, but we went up there before, you know, we had a series up there with him. And I walked down on there. It was like walking on the sidewalk.
It was awful.
That ball into right field. And that'll do it. We're halfway home trailing 5-0. If you're looking for the Cubs D-backs game, is airing now on CSN Plus. Go to csnchicago.com for channel listings. That's csnchicago.com for channel listings for the Cub Diamondback game. Want to know the count? The Tank, who singled back through the middle. Andre Dawson, 438 home runs, 503 doubles, almost 1,600 RBIs, 8-time Gold Glove winner.
And one of the best arms you ever saw.
Nobody went from first to third on him.
Nope.
Boy, that's the whole thing about playing right field. You get those right fielders that can keep guys from going from first to third, especially when you got young pitchers. You really help them out.
Avila took one off the mask again, and Gary Darling is spending a little time to let Alex collect his wits. And again, he's in a streak where he's just getting beaten up, and there's nothing you can do about it.
That's a bad feeling when there's nothing you can do about it.
Nope.
It's like getting in a fight with somebody and he's so much faster than you are and you can't hit him. He can hit you anytime he wants to. That's a bad feeling. That's outside. Little two-hopper, Kelly. One out. You can organize an outing, a group outing of 20 or more for a Sox game during the season and receive savings off the individual game ticket price. You can enhance your outing by upgrading to our new Miller Lite bullpen party porch, pre-game patio party, the Diamond Suite, or one of our other great party areas. So call 312-674-1000 and visit whitesox.com. That's the Bertucci Boys domain. Bobby, Bruno, and Handsome Anthony. Josh. Went out to left field. Hits that ball hard. Yes, got by him. One of the few mistakes that Sanchez has made tonight.
Got that one upstairs in the zone, and Josh was able to ease it by Peralta at shortstop. That one just came up spinning. And our hitters haven't seen many of these. That was a slider that didn't do much.
So here's Diaz. Single, a stolen base, and a strikeout. Five, 6-1 for the Tigers. 0-4-1 for us. There's a shot by fielder. Begley. Now here he is on his way to second base as Torrey Hunter gets it back in. So one out, Ducks on the pond. Don't stop now, boys.
Two for three for Diaz. He got a fastball down on the inner portion and smoked it. This one rifled by fielder, no chance for him. And then with the play right in front of him, hustled into second base.
Alexei hit a little soft line drive to Peralta, and then he grounded to Johnny. First pitch strike.
Here's our AT&T Uverse multi-view.
Fastball strike at 95.
Nice stop by Avila, saves a run. This looked like it was destined to be wild pitch number 4 for Sanchez. But Avila able to keep it in front of him and freeze the base runners.
That is softly hit. They hold the runner.
Well, Perez put up his glove like he was going to catch that, and Josh Fegley couldn't run. You don't know if that's going to carry all the way to Perez or not. So Hernan trying to deke him. You'll see it here. Put up his glove like he was going to catch it, even though he knew it was going to be a one-hopper. But as a base runner, you got no chance. You can't run into an inning-ending double play.
So it's up to Alex, 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. He's been mesmerized a little bit with that changeup. Another nice play by Avila. That ball hit hard, but Jackson's got the bead and the ball. So once again, we blow another opportunity. That is a recurring nightmare for us.
Ball. Here's an Avis super slow-mo replay. It's a fastball down to Prince Fielder, that coming in the first inning. Then it's a changeup on the inner portion, that coming in the second inning to Austin Jackson. And the third of 3, a fastball inside to Torrey Hunter in the 5th inning.
So here is Victor, 0 for 2 with 2 line shots. He has hit it right on the button to Alex and right, and to Keppinger at second. Drops the hook on him, and the count 0-2. Another rocket. Just foul.
Victor's been on everything this month. He has the most hits in the major leagues. Leads by 2 over Echeverria, and Hanley Ramirez trailing by 3. Ramirez for the red hot Dodgers.
That's still a good pitch, even if you didn't get it. The 1-2. That's in the hole. Nice backhand. Peg. Plenty of time. Nice play. 1 down.
Martinez is 0 for 3 tonight. It could very well be 3 for 3. Good effort by Ramirez sliding in the hole. He's got plenty of time with Victor running, and he gets it down there in plenty of time, but it took a very good play to stop him from a leadoff single.
Peralta had a little duck snort double. Then he lined out hard to Diaz in center. Change up low. Yankees at Texas tied at 1. Top of the 6th inning. Garza making his first start. There's a strike.
Texas is not done dealing yet. They figure after being to the big dance twice and coming away empty, they're going to have to add at least 1, possibly 2 more pieces.
Another change up. Good one. Good motion with that one for Johnny. Well, there are a few clubs out there that are just not done dealing yet. I just got a text that Texas looking hard after one of our guys.
Standings in the West, the Rangers 3.5 games in back of the Oakland Athletics. The Athletics trying to deal for some pitching, and they've been asking around just about everywhere for another starter.
He gone. 2 down. Who do you think's going to get Norris?
That's a good question. I think that he's probably, as far as starters are concerned that are available, he's probably one of the top 3 or 4 that are available right now.
Even though he's had a couple of rough outings last time.
I believe so. I think they feel that if you're a contender, you feel you get a much better ball club than Houston, and you probably do. So you take a guy off a bad ball club, put him in the middle of a pennant race, get his competitive juices flowing, and he should be better for you.
Just chops that one in the hole, does Kelly. Well, The basic way to look at it is one way, and it's not rocket science. Are we a better club with him or without him?
I think from Houston's standpoint, they've got a lot of great prospects, but they're a few years away. They know they can't win now, but they can use Norris as an organization builder so that when they do bring up their youngsters, they have a couple of more pieces, and I think that's the way Houston has to play it.
No, Houston, Bo Porter, we touched on it a couple times, doing an unbelievable job. They won that. They came back and won that ball game last night. They got beat today 4-3. They're playing they're in a lot of games, and they got nothing. He's running out there.
Well, they were able to do something that nobody's been able to do in some 44 straight performances, and that's a blown save for Grant Balfour.
Nice play by Alexei. Can't get him, though. Good try. Perez runs too good. Picks up his second infield hit.
Perez hustling down the line, but you can also credit Kelly for hustling to second. Because Kelly's at second base, Ramirez has only one play. Normally you'd think about the force out depending on who's running. But he's got no play at second. From his knees, he's got to try to make it. Made it a whole lot closer than it should have been. That was a big effort.
It's funny how the fourth outfielders and the fifth infielders play the best fundamental baseball.
They have to stay around.
Exactly right. Avila just rips that one in the hole. And it's 6-0. All coming with 2 out, nobody on.
'24th run driven in. First ball fastball, and it carves out the middle of the plate. And the first time that Avila's had a pitch to pull tonight, and he does just that.
And here comes Coop. While he does, we'll take a few of the scores for you. Angels shut out Minnesota 1-0. Weaver over Pelfrey. Baltimore leading Kansas City 2-1, top of the 7th. In Kansas City. Steve told you Cleveland. No, Seattle 10-1. Casimir over Joe Saunders. 2-2 tie. Dodgers at Toronto. Atlanta leading the Mets 6-2. Bottom of the 8th at the Citi Field. Tampa Bay 5. Boston 1. Bottom of the 8th at Fenway. Andy Pettit and Garza hooked up in a 1-1 tie. Bottom of the 6th. Just waved at that one. Jackson is 2 for 3. A soft single into left and a home run right down the left field line. He also has grounded to second. And tomorrow in the finale, there's going to be a lot of scout fannies and a lot of seats to watch that one tomorrow.
There's no doubt about it. And assuming that he comes out of that healthy, and we have every indication that he will, clubs are lined up to make that deal.
0-2.
It's a great matchup tomorrow. Verlander against Peavy. Two guys going out there to win, certainly, but both guys looking at a much different future. Verlander planning on helping his club to the World Series, and Jake wondering where he's going to wind up, assuming he comes out of that start tomorrow, throwing the ball well and healthy.
Well, for me, of all the pitchers that are available, for me it would be Jake Peavy I'd be going after. That's why they're going to be here tomorrow.
Well, those same people.
He didn't have to win. He just has to throw the ball okay, because they know he's going to win.
Those same people that watched him in his last start are here to watch him in this one. And there's got to be at least 4 or 5 teams that are willing to make a deal. And there are a whole lot of scouts, because one of these teams is a seller. It's not the Tigers.
And there is a can of corn. They put one on the board. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th, trailing by 6. Wednesday, August 7th is Police and Fire Night presented by UL. Also, the first 20,000 fans receive a 1983 White Sox tailgate flag. So, WhiteSox.com or 866-SOX game.
There's Spanky, Mike Squires, who's worked for Walt Jocketty, worked for him in St. Louis. He's working for him now as a scout with Cincinnati Reds. Mike's a terrific guy and a very good scout.
Yes, he is. I think he's a good man. There's a strike. Adam is struck out and grounded to short right field, where Perez was stationed. Texas just taken a 2-1 lead over the Yankees. Home run by Pierzynski.
Pretty good matchup. Andy Pettit, Matt Garza, the newly acquired Matt Garza.
Two and two the count. Canerco on deck. Keppinger in the hole. And there's the base hit. They won't get that one. So a good way to start.
Andy Dirks has come into the game defensively for Tuiasa Sopo.
So here's Polly. He's gone out to right and walked. Beautiful evening here in the city. Beautiful. Nice crowd on hand. Greek Heritage Festival here at the ballpark. Is that pitch taken up high?
Anytime you can get a summer's eve at 64 degrees with no humidity at the end of July, you got to consider that as good a weather as you're going to get. Last couple of nights have been carbon copies.
2-0 the count. Canerco. 6-9-1 for them. 0-6-1 for us. We've had a couple chances and could not cash in. He did not go. Good check. 3-0 the count. Pours that one over. That one at 93. Highest I've seen him touch tonight's been 95.
That's probably his best four-seamer. But his two-seamer at 91, 92 has had great movement.
That ball hit into left field right at Dirks. It's a hang with him for Paulie. So here's Keppinger. He's 1 for 2. Talking about his four-seamer at 95, two-seamer at 90, 91. The hitters would much rather see that 95.
There's no, well, that's what he uses to get the ball over the plate. I mean, when he's down in the count, wants to throw a fastball for a strike, he'll use 95. Usually on pitches where he knows the guy's going to take it. Occasionally he'll try to ride that 95 up in on the inner portion of the plate to a right-hand hitter. But you don't see it all that often from him.
Two and one. Gillespie, the on-deck hitter. Washington hitting in the bottom of the ninth, trailing Pittsburgh 4-2. Washington coming in at 48 and 52.
That was Strasburg to the mound tonight.
A little flare out there into Austin Jackson country. 2 down, and a reminder Monday, August 5th. Well, that's the Green Game powered by Constellation. First 10,000 fans will receive a White Sox Garden Gnome courtesy of Constellation. So WhiteSox.com or 866 Sox Game. That one at 94 for a strike. What do you think the Nats going to do?
Well, the question is if they believe their pitching is strong enough to be able to contend. Lazy fly ball, and that's going to end it. So we'll head to the top of the 7th in a 6-0 game.
5 years as your #1 mobile app for live baseball. Available for iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry 10. AtBet delivers White Sox baseball with live audio, pitch tracking, stats, breaking news, and video. So download AtBet on the Apple App Store, Google Play, Kindle App Store, BlackBerry World, or text AtBet to 31826. Torrey Hunter. Andy Dirks. And Prince Fielder. Torrey, 1 for 3. Now 2 for 4. A homer and this single. Torrey now 5 for 14 in the series with a couple of home runs. And here's Dirks making his first plate appearance. Pick by Fagley.
Andy Dirks, who does platoon with Tui Asasopo. We haven't got a whole lot of looks at him because of left-handed starters. We got 4 of them.
That's into left field. Tanks makes the call, has the ball. 1 out. So here's Prince. He's 1 for 3. Big 3-run homer. Stepped right up. Cabrera went down. He's not afraid to carry this club. First inning, 2 on.
Well, he knows there's a lot of added pressure, and he stepped up and got a fastball down. His 17th home run of the year. Made it a 3-0 game. They have never trailed in this one.
Well, you know, everything is self-induced. But Prince is used to. He carried that Milwaukee club for a few years, so he's used to that. As there's a bullet. So 1 out, 2 on. The biggest reason I like to watch him play, I've never seen him dog it.
I don't think he ever will. I don't think he's that kind of player.
Pierre Cabrera, I've never seen either one of them dog it.
Troncoso and Percy loosening up in the pen.
So here's Victor. He's 0 for 3 and is absolutely, as Steve said earlier, he could be 3 for 3. 2 bullets, 1 right at Rios, 1 right at Keppinger, and then a splendid play going in the hole by Ramirez. That ball hit into center field. Torrey Hunter going to get back in. So another line drive.
Victor 0 for 4, and you could hardly be swinging the bat any better.
Well, you know, he's in that zone now that hitting is really not hard.
Now, to him, I would assume that the baseball is pretty much looking like a basketball.
You just, you know, those real good hitters stay in that zone a lot longer than guys who are not so good. When you're in that zone, hitting is not that hard. Change up to Peralta. And when you're not in that zone or in between, it's probably the hardest single thing to do in sports.
And with that 0 for 4, he's 13 for 25 this year. Well, he's really fallen on hard times.
Peralta, a little soft double, line drive to center, and a strikeout. That one at 90. And got it by him. Jake Peavy against Justin Verlander tomorrow. If you can't make it to the ballpark, that game will be right here over Comcast Sportsnet. Turns that one over almost like a screwball. Like a page out of Hector Santiago.
Trying to get just a little bit more on that straight change.
Another one. Full count. 2 on, 2 out.
Don Kelly in the on-deck circle. He's got a base hit tonight. In fact, amazingly, Martinez is the only one that doesn't have a base hit, and he's hit the ball the hardest.
Little top hand action on that one by Peralta. Victor has worn us out since he has been in this league. High fly ball deep into center field. Right in front of the track. Makes the catch. 7th inning stretch. Once again, we're in trouble.
On for the 14th time. He's 0-1. The ERA 5.25. Control has been a bit of an issue for him. He's got a big fastball.
Viciedo 1 for 2 will lead it off against the hard-throwing right-hander. That one at 101 back to the screen. That one at 99 and the count 2-0. Tigers trying to take the first 3 of this 4-game set. They won the opener 7-3 when we gave them 5 unearned runs. They won last night 6-2 when we gave them 3 unearned runs. And there's a base hit. There's a ball Perez will tell you he should have had.
Two hits for Viciedo as he takes a low fastball, and that one just hops over Perez's glove.
Yeah, he was there. He was there. So here's Josh. He's 1 for 2. Outfield slightly to the right. Gap out there in left center if he can find it. That one at 98.
To a changeup. That fastball 101, 102. Decided to take a little something off to get it over.
That's nasty there. Slider at 89.
You can tell why they think this guy is going to be a terrific pitcher. It's a question, can he get it over the plate consistently? He buries that slider in the dirt, and Avila does a very nice job of stopping it.
Another good block by Avila.
I'm sure he's very happy that Rondon came in so he could take a few more bumps and bruises.
Rondon just 22 years old. And listed at 6'3", 275. Out of Valencia, Venezuela. Hometown of Felix Hernandez. Ball gets away. And that's out number 1.
You've got absolutely no chance if you don't identify the spin on the ball, because this ball's coming in 89, 90 miles an hour, biting low and away.
Well, he's a classic example, especially with his lack of control or being anywhere close to being pinpoint, which is not. This is a guy you got to zone. You got to hit off his fastball and you got to zone. And by zone, I mean you got to look middle in off him, because if he gets the ball away, if it's spinning at all, you're dead.
No, you're not going to hit the slider anyway.
No, you're not. So why look for something you can't handle? So when you get guys out there like that, you got to zone them. Other guys, like a Sanchez, now you can look for pitches off him, but for him, you got to look zone. Diaza, 2 for 3, a single, a double, stolen base. He's just joining us. He started off the bottom of the first after they had scored 3 in the first. Real good with that single, stolen base. They went to third on an error, the throwing error by the catcher, and we left him right there.
Man who a lot of people think could start for a whole lot of teams, Drew Smiley. Starting to loosen up in the pen. $26,793.
3-0. Don't help him out. Top of the ninth in Toronto. They have taken a 3-2 lead over the Dodgers. Kansas City has come back to tie Baltimore 3, bottom of the eighth in Kansas City. And there's ball 4.
Jeff Jones coming out. He wants to allow Smiley a chance to get loose and try to figure out a way for Rondon to get the ball over the plate.
But getting back to that zoning in off guys like Rondon. If you look, you got to look middle end, you got to look fastball. That way, if he hangs the slider, you still can get it. You got a much better chance in that because you're looking in that area. And if you got to hit off his fastball, so if he gets it in there, if you're looking inside and he throws you a 102-mile-an-hour fastball, you can still get it.
Yeah, but you're not going to get it if it's outside.
No.
No.
Checks it up and takes ball 1. That at 100. There's a slider. One and one. One out, 2 on. And that's a nice piece of woodwork. That's going to score Tank. And we get on the board.
I'll be at number 24 as Ramirez just reaches out. He gets one of those sliders that didn't do a whole lot. And he breaks up the shutout. That was pretty good pitcher's pitch. But with good plate coverage, standing right on top of the plate, he's able to just guide it into left field.
For Rondon, that was a good pitch. And here is Alex. Alex 0 for 3 last time up, lined out hard to center field. High chopper. Back him up. We're into the 8th, trailing by 5. And a pitching change. Southpaw David Percy coming on. In relief of Johnny Danks. Johnny goes 7 innings, giving up 6 runs earned, 11 hits. So Percy, he will have Kelly, Perez, and Avila, the lower third of their order. 6-11-1 for them, 1-8-1 for us. Don Kelly 1 for 3, a single and a run scored. That coming in the 6th inning. And once again, a reminder: make your plans to be with us here tomorrow. Jake Peavy against Justin Verlander. Finale of this 4-game series with the Tigers. Is there's first pitch strike. Percy pitching to his old teammates. One and one to count. And count 1-2. Now Field shading him around to the left. Top of the 8th in Texas, still 2-1 Rangers over the Yankees as that pitch is out of play. Souvenir left side. Earlier today, Cleveland thumped the Mariners 10-1. Top of the 9th in Kansas City, still tied at 3 with Baltimore. Angels shut out Minnesota 1-0. Bottom of the 9th in Toronto, tied at 3 with the Dodgers. 1-2 pitch. At Fenway, Tampa Bay beats them 5-1. Price over DeBlanc. Atlanta beat the Mets 8-2 at Citi Field. Pittsburgh over Washington 4-2 at Nationals Park. Oakland beats the Astros 4-3 down in Houston. And bottom of the 1st in San Francisco, Cincinnati leading 1-0 as there's another souvenir left side. Close pitch, didn't get it. This is just off the outside corner. No walks. Pops up softly, Alexei. One down. All right, now let's check out our AT&T tweet of the game. This is Hawk. Do you ever see the Big Hurt coming back to the White Sox as a coach? Indeed I do. Yes. Greatest hitter this franchise has ever had. He was a smart hitter. And he's fun to talk baseball with. So here is Hernan Perez, 2 infield singles. The Big Hurt. What a hitter. Never dogged it, played hurt. And the most beautiful thing about it, what he did was all him. First ballot Hall of Famer. And in the last 50 years, one of the 3 best right-handed hitters to come into the American League. There's a strike. You got Frank, Manny Ramirez and Miguel Cabrera, and not necessarily in that order. Look at the play by Gillespie. That ball was absolutely scalded by Perez. There is a big league play right there, Connor. Beautiful. This ball is absolutely tattooed. It's about as hard as he can hit one. So 2 down, and here is Avila. 1 for 3, but it was an RBI single in the 6th. And he has taken another beating behind that plate tonight, and also foul one right off his right shin. Checks it up and takes strike 1. Bottom of the 7th at Miller Park. Brewers leading San Diego 2-1. St. Louis leading the Phillies 9-1. Top of the 7th in St. Louis. Top of the 4th in Arizona. No scores. They host the Cubs. Pretty good pitch. Goes Avila's way. 2 out, 2-1. Alexei's got it. And a nice 1-2-3 inning for David Percy. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. We need 5 to tie. Pitching change for Detroit. There's the southpaw Drew Smiley, who's really done a terrific job for these guys out of that pen. 4-0, 1.83 Erie. 61 strikeouts, 59 innings. And they need somebody to come up big out there, and he certainly has done that. So it's going to be Dunn, Konerko, and Keppinger. Drew, 24 years old. First pitch strike. 6'3", 190 pounds, out of Maumelle, Arkansas. born in Little Rock, where it can get a little humid down there. Adam has faced Smiley 6 times, has 1 hit, and it left the premises. Two balls and a strike. Start us off right here, big man. Two and two. When he was in high school in Maumelle, Arkansas, he was 6 feet tall, 150 pounds. Attended the University of Arkansas. As he gets him upstairs, that one at 94. So Adam now 1 for 4 tonight. And here's Paulie. Paulie 0 for 2 with a walk and a line drive to left field. And he has faced Smiley 5 times, has 3 hits. Make it 4. Now, attaboy, Paulie. Looking first ball fastball. Gets first ball fastball. So Paulie showing no ill effects of being on the DL with that sore back. Swinging the bat has a very, very fluid action through the swing. And here's Keppinger. He's gone out to right, singled, and gone out to center. Flips that one over their dugout. He was a draft eligible sophomore, Smiley was, and received a $1.1 million signing bonus from the Tigers in 2010 as a 2nd round choice. Checks it up, and the count evens at 1. Keppinger has faced him 5 times, and he has had a tough time. He's 0 for 5. There's the strike. Breaking ball. David Murphy has just homered for the Rangers, and it's a 3-1 Texas lead over the Yankees. Texas coming in 3 games back of Oakland. Oakland has 1, so to remain 3 back, they have to win. And here's the 2-2 pitch. Got him. And let's check out our upcoming schedule. There you see one more with these guys tomorrow, 1:10. That is Jake Peavy against Justin Verlander. Then the Royals come in for 3, and that will conclude this homestand. Then we go to Cleveland for 4 and Detroit for 3 for the next week. Gillespie. Whoops. Oh, and 1 to count. And that ball gets through. So Paulie just amble on into second. So the wild pitch. But with that 5-1 victory, Tampa Bay now pulls to win a half game of the Red Sox. Baltimore tied in Kansas City, trying to remain, or will move to within, if they can win, 2.5 back of Boston. A ball and 2 strikes. 6 runs, 11 hits, 1 error for the Tigers. 9-1 for our Sox. Left-handers having a tough time against Smiley. He's only thrown 1 home run since May of last year. Presented by CLR. On the show, we'll have complete clubhouse reaction from Sox and Tigers. Plus, we'll follow a report from Bob Burnett as the Bears report for camp. Wow, already. Don't miss all that and more on Sportsnet Central tonight at midnight, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Ramon Troncoso comes in for David Bursey, who had himself a nice inning, a 1-2-3 in the 8th. There are the numbers on Ramon. Austin Jackson, 2 for 4 with a homer, takes ball 1. We were talking about the big hurt Frank Thomas possibly coming back in the future as a coach with our Sox. And count 2-0. And we got a little footage for some of you who did not see him back on August 28, 1990. As there's a good pitch by Ramon. Got to hurry. All right. And here's the first home run of the Big Earth School. Oh, Gary Wayne. At that dreadful place, the Metrodome in Minneapolis. His first hit was a triple down the right field line at County Stadium. That was his first home run. As here is Torrey. Hunter's 2 for 4 with a home run. Tigers have hit 3 tonight. They have 113 on the season. We have 92. Threw that one right by him. And then on June 28, 2007, as the 1 strike pitch coming on. 0-2. On June 28, 2007, Carlos Silva, you just saw his first. This is his 500th. What a career. First 8 years he played, Frank Thomas was the greatest right-hander I ever saw. He put up numbers that it's going to be hard for anybody to overcome. As he gone. He didn't like Troncoso. 2 down. So here comes Robin. Andy Dirks, the left-handed hitter, with 2 out, nobody on, is going to be there at the plate. And he's going to see Donnie Veal. So breaking the action. Troncoso departs. Veal comes on, and we'll be back. Big 6'4" southpaw Donnie Veal, 1-0 with that ERA 6.75, 11 strikeouts and 10 2/3. But you see the base on balls at 10, and that is no good. When he gets his breaking ball over, especially on the first pitch, and gets ahead, he is double tough. When he doesn't, he gets hit. So here's Andy Dirks with 2 out, nobody on. For our guys in the bottom of the ninth, schedule hitters of Aviciedo, Fegley, and Diaza. He almost walked right into that fastball up and in. That one at 94. And the count evens at 1. There's that hook. Another one. Not close enough for him to bite. Kansas City has won that Baltimore game. They won it 4-3. He gone. And that'll retire the side. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth. We trail at 6-1. Miller Lite. And this is the very first inning. 2 on. Prince Fielder just unloaded on one. And that was one of the quickest 3-0 leads you want to see. Prince picking up the 17th homer. He now has 74 knocked in. And he is stepping up big while his buddy Miguel Cabrera is out with that pull flexor muscle. But right here we have a pitching change as the right-hander Luke put Conan. 17 strikeouts in 20 innings. 1-1 with a 2.66 ERA. So it'll be Viciedo, Fegley, and Alejandro Diaza. Tank is 2 for 3, and has scored only 1 run. That was in the 7th inning. They scored the 3 that you just saw in the first, 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th. As he takes first pitch, and it's ball 1. That ball hit hard. Stretch. Hunter looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes. Opposite field. For Tank, his 9th. Then it's a 6-2 ball game. And for Tank, that is his 4th home run this year. And this is the 6th game off the Tigers. That is on the out of third. And just a line drive right out of here. So here's Fegley. He's 1 for 3. Up and in. And flips a foul over our dugout. Dodgers were tied with Toronto at 3 going to extra innings, and evidently scored 5 in the top of the 10th as they win it 8-3. So the Dodgers definitely on that roll. Puig 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs. Hit his 9th home run. Mark Ellis hit his 5th. Yasiel Puig has lit that ball club up. That's going away. 2-1. Five in the top of the 10th. He just missed that one. High, towering fly ball. Dirks is there. So 1 out. And here comes Leland. Put that arm down for the left-hander. And nobody, now somebody's coming out of that bullpen. So Luke put Conan. He will depart. Phil Cope makes his customary run from the bullpen to the mound, and we'll be back. is the southpaw, Phil Koch, making his 32nd appearance, 0-5 record. He's had a tough season. Overall, his time in that Tiger uniform has been very good for him. Done a good job this year. Getting touched up. So the home run by Viciedo is the 6-2 Tiger lead. 1 out, and here is Piazza, who is 2 for 3 with a base on balls, a single, a strikeout, a double, and a walk. Corners in close. Prince is even with the bag, well off the line at first. Kelly in on the grass at third. Outfield spread out, but swung around to the left. First pitch, breaking ball, strike. Alejandro has faced Koch 7 times, has 1 hit, and it was a homer. One and one to count. And the count 2-1. Don't help him out, Alejandro. Of course, with that home run by Viciedo, the Alex Nellius family will make a generous donation to White Sox charities in loving memory of Ursula. Checks it up, and the count 3-1. And that 3-1 Texas lead over the Yankees. Here's Zinski, his 10th homer. He also had an RBI single. He was 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. David Murphy hit his 11th homer. And there's a base hit, a solid base hit. Count got him right there. So let's have a little continuation hitting here in the bottom of the 9th. And there comes Leland. Not a whole bunch to that. Right down the middle, wheelhouse. And he did not miss it. So Koch departs. Joaquin Benoit comes on, and we'll be back. Pen is for their closer. Joaquin Benoit making his 41st appearance. 2-0 with a 1.56, and he's been a savior for these guys. And he comes in with 1 on, 1 out. Tigers lead at 6-2. Alexei's 1 for 4 with an RBI. Long set by Benoit. What the Tigers are trying to do is come up, as we discussed. Steve and I have the situation of if they can get to where they can put Benoit back as a setup guy, that would bode well for Detroit. Of course, Smiley has really been doing a terrific job for him. 1-1 to count to Alexei. Alexei's 1 for 4 against this guy. Fouls that one off in the count 1-2. Benoit originally with Texas. I believe he made his first major league start against us down at their park. He also has been with Tampa Bay. Another long set. Up high, 2-2. Signed a 3-year, $16.5 million contract with the Tigers in November of 2010. Outfield shading to the right. Gap out there in left center if he can find it. Yeah, it was a pretty good lead. And a full count. Come on, Alexei. Ball 4 base hit, buddy. High pop up. Put a good swing on it. Dadgummit, just underneath it. So we're down to our last out. See, this is a good pitch for him to hit. He put the good pass there. And he is a little disappointed in himself. So here is Alex. Alex 0 for 4 tonight. That's ball 1. Alex 1 for 5 against Benoit. If you're just tuning in, Johnny Danks and Anibal Sanchez started this game, and they are the pitchers of record. Sanchez looking to pick up his 8th victory against 7 defeats. And there goes Alejandro. That will not be a stolen base. It's indifference. And the count 1-1. Danks looking as it stands. We can't come back to go to 2-8. And that ball in the right field. When he comes down, this ball game will be over. So the Tigers come in here for a 4-game series. They win game 1 7-3. 5 unearned runs in that game we gave them. They win last night 6-2. 3 unearned runs we gave them. They were all earned tonight as they beat us 6-2 again. And let's check out our GMC player of the game. It is the 29-year-old right-hander Anibal Sanchez. As we mentioned, 6 innings, 1 run, 7 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Our GMC Player of the Game. So my partner Steve Stone, our director Jim Angio, our producer Mike Leary, our associate producer Dave Ross, our technical manager Mark Harper, the executive producer Jim Corno Jr., for the mayor, me and Joe Groove, for Mike Mayer, Frank D'Amato, Dennis Wood, Doug Bullard. This is The Hawk. So long, everybody. Coming up next, the Overland Park Nissan postgame show with Chuck and Bill. You've been watching Chicago White Sox baseball, Comcast Sportsnet.